First tonight, the poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou said history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again.
Tonight's first story is about history's wrenching pain and families in Maine, all members of the Penobscot Nation, trying to teach their children and others about it. They're doing that through a short documentary called Bounty. I sat down with the co-director to learn more.
I've had dreams before about our ancestors running through the woods. Didn't know what we were running from.
I bring my children in this room because they can see these dark things, but they know that there's a real strength and resilience in our people.
The film Bounty tells the story of 3 Penobscot families explaining to their children the details of a proclamation signed on November 3rd, 1755.
This proclamation was written a long time ago. They declared the Penobscot people enemies.
And then he died?
Yeah, a lot of our ancestors. That's why this paper exists.
The proclamation gave settlers not only a license to kill, but an incentive to kill Native Americans.
A proclamation. Whereas the tribe of Penobscot Indians have repeatedly, in a perfidious manner, acted contrary to their solemn submission unto His Majesty long since made and frequently renewed.
I have therefore thought fit to issue this proclamation and to declare the Penobscot tribe of Indians to be enemies, rebels, and traitors of His Majesty King George II.
And I do hereby require His Majesty's subjects of this province to embrace all opportunities of pursuing, captivating, killing, and destroying all and every of the aforesaid Indians.
Settler descendants were paid to hunt us.
Don Neptune Adams co-directed the short film with the nonprofit Upstander Project.
The motive for settlers to do this was a large sum of money. $12,000 for, the equivalent of $12,000 for a man, about half that for a woman, and slightly less than that for children.
She, along with other families, took their children to the Old State House in Boston.
Hello folks, welcome to the Old State House and to the Governor's Council Chamber. This is the oldest public building in Boston.
And sat in the room where the proclamation was signed.
The atmosphere there is very heavy with history. It's like the genocide has permeated those stone walls.
Why was it so important to have the children there with you?
Because in public schools and in American society, children are not told the truth about the genocide of Indigenous people and the enslavement of our Black and brown relatives. It's important for all children to know the truth about what happened on this land.
There were more than 100 government-issued scalp bounties, like the one explored in this film, issued in the U.S. from 1675 to the late 1800s.
It makes me realize how resilient our people are and how we're still here.
That's what this is about. Despite the numerous attempts to eradicate us, we are still here. We are still practicing our culture, our traditions, and our languages. We are still practicing our kinship connection to the land and water.
According to the film, more than 150 human scalps were turned in for a reward.
When people know the truth of what happened on this land, it's easier for them to connect with us and stand in solidarity with us when we ask them to. Because colonization continues to this day. We are not being killed for our body parts and brought to the State House for money, but there is colonial oppression still happening.
Filmmakers hope the documentary will be used to educate.
It's easier to feel comfortable with killing other people in wars or in genocidal acts when you see them as less than human.
What we'd like people to know is that we are still here, we are still practicing our cultural traditions, and we have no intention of going anywhere.
The documentary, which is less than 10 minutes, is free and streaming online at bountyfilm.org. Filmmakers are willing to attend screenings and help with education. You can learn more by visiting our website.